So, what's the first step when you want to quit your job, you feel like a failure, and you want to discover your passion? I'll be answering that question in this video. How's it going, Reinventors? I'm Amelia. I'm coming to you from the lake, and this is Reinventing You, the channel where you can be inspired to take your own reinventing journey so that you can live a life of joy, fulfillment, and purpose. I post twice a week, and I'm going to do my best not to speak when there's really noisy boats on the lake. I've been trying to get out for about an hour to film this. I got this question on one of my other videos, and it was so important. I felt like I needed to answer the question, but there were so many layers to it that I felt like it just needed its own video. So even though I wasn't planning on doing a video, here I am. So here's the question. This is from Jose Zamora. Hi, Amelia. How do I take the first step and leave a high-paying job behind to look for my passion? I feel like a failure, and I feel like I would let my family down. Any insights for me? Well, Jose, thank you so much for your question. There are at least 4 elements in what you are saying in this just a couple of sentences, and so I want to address each one. I had to move inside to be able to answer this question. There's 4 parts or 4 things that I hear in your question. The first is the feeling you have of being a failure, the feeling that your family will be let down if you quit your job, the fact that you are looking for your passion, and also just the issue of quitting your job. All of those things are in this one question. And so the first thing I have to say is this is not a time to quit your job. Right now during this pandemic, don't quit your job right now, okay? Unless you are in danger of hurting yourself or others, let's stick with this for a while, okay? You've probably been wrestling with this. This is not going to be an easy thing. In fact, I've told people before, reinventing is not a quick fix. It is a constant, ongoing journey. And it's awesome when you have it and you feel like you've reached where you needed to go, but it is not something that's just, do this and it's done. That said, the first thing that I really want to highlight is your feelings of failure, because that is going to color your decisions from here on out. So the first thing I would say is you really need to find a counselor or a coach. Now, a counselor is going to help you more with dealing with your feelings and where you are now. A coach is going to be somebody who could help you work through your passions and maybe figure out what you need to be doing and getting you through that. So they've got 2 different kind of purposes, and you can decide which one where you want to start. I would recommend just counseling. If you are uncomfortable with counseling, or even if it's covered under your job or your insurance, but you know that everybody's going to know I'm going through counseling and it's going to be a black mark on my record. Even if I'm quitting my job, I don't want that to be a part of the whole thing. So I can understand that. If you're not doing that, you need to simply kind of work with yourself. Why do I feel like a failure? What things have I done in my life that make me feel good about myself? What are some things in my life that I'm proud of? What are my accomplishments that make me feel good and don't make me feel like a failure? What is it that's going on in my life that making me feel like a failure? Is there something in my family of origin, maybe somebody else who stuck with a job for years and was miserable and had, retired, and a year later they were dead, that kind of thing. That's not a good example. But anyway, what I'm saying is, where does this feelings of failure come from? So that's kind of thing you've got to grapple with. I'd suggest professional help. Make sure you get somebody who is accredited, not just like a Christian counselor or somebody who just helps people. You need somebody who knows what they're doing. And during this time, you can do counseling by phone. That is very possible. The second thing that comes up to me in your question is you feel like your family be letting your family down. I don't know when you say family what you're referring to. It could be your core immediate family, a partner or spouse, some children, maybe an adult dependent living with you. It could be grandchildren, it could be parents. I don't know when you say family. It also could be an extended family. Maybe culturally, there is sort of this, not a stigma, but an expectation that is on you from your big extended family. Maybe you were somebody in your family who was the first to graduate high school or get a professional degree of some kind or go to college, and you have this job because you did all that. And so you have this pressure from this extended family that you've done really well and they are proud of you for that. And if you quit your job, you're going to feel like you're going to let them down. You have got to communicate with your immediate family. Your immediate family needs to understand how unhappy you are, how miserable you are. If you are a miserable person, if you're working 80 plus hours a week and doing a job, sure, bringing in lots of money, but you are unhappy and you're not present with your immediate family, if you are able to be happy and be present, that's going to benefit your immediate family more than they really realize. Now, if you're bringing home a lot of money, you're going to hit some flack there. You may have children who are used to having the latest gadgets. You may have a partner or a spouse who's used to the fanciest cars, the biggest house or apartment, or the nicest clothes. All of those kinds of things. If you quit your high-paying job, they may lose out on those things. But you've got to communicate your unhappiness and your willingness to find what you're really passionate about. If you can communicate that with them, then that is the best thing you can do, and that's a great first step. And sometimes a counselor can help you with that, but actually a coach is also really good at that sort of thing as well. Now, your extended family, man, that's a really hard one. But I think if you are happy and content and you're doing something you're passionate about, they may be disappointed at first, or you may feel like they're disappointed at first, but you've also got to say what's more important, their feelings or my perception of their feelings, or me as a person, an individual, doing what I'm passionate about. Speaking of what you're passionate about, you want to find out what you're passionate about. You feel like quitting your job is the thing you need to do. And maybe not. So the next two things kind of go hand in hand. First of all, you've got to take into account what is the cost of quitting your job. And I'm talking about monetary cost. I'm talking about benefits. I'm talking about, where you live, all of those things. If you quit your job, what is going to happen? Especially in this time of pandemic, it's just really, I would get nervous. But at the same time, if you feel like you are in danger of hurting yourself and others, yes. But that is something that you have got to really struggle with. But sit down and figure, I've got this great paying job. I want to quit, but my finances aren't good. I don't have really good savings account. I probably need at least 3 to 6 months, socked away so that I can find my passion and use that money. So whatever you have to do, you have to sit down and basically, literally count the cost of quitting your job. As to what you're passionate about, that may be something you can start working out even before you quit your job. I did a series of videos on Ikigai, which is something about a Japanese form of finding your purpose. It involves 4 things. It involves what you are good at, what you love, what brings a lot of money, and what is helpful for the population in general. In fact, what helps others. If you can make all 4 of those things, that's what your passion is. When all 4 of those things meet, you're doing something you love, you're good at it, it's making money, and it's helping others. That is the answer to a passion. That's how you can find your passion. So you may be able to start with your job you're doing now. What in your job you're doing now are you really good at and you love? If is there anything, or maybe just what you're good at in your job, it might be translatable. It might be something that you can do in another occupation. Those are the things that help you out. Is your job helping others? Like if you're a physician, maybe you are helping others, but is there a way that you can do that in a way that is bringing in money, but you're doing something you love and you are good at it? All that said, those are some things. When you say, what is the first step? I'm just like, oh my gosh, Jose, there's just so many things that I could say, but I think that's the first thing, is finding somebody to really talk about your feelings of failure and letting others down in your family. Because if you can't grapple with that first, then it's going to be hard to figure out your passion and figure out what you need to do to quit your job. I hope that is helpful for you. If you are not Jose and you're watching this video and you have not subscribed, I invite you to do that. If you're not Jose and you're watching this video and you've already subscribed, I invite you in the comments below, and this is actually for everybody, even if you haven't subscribed, please let me know a question that you have. And it may involve me doing another video. I felt like this was a question I had to really unpack to answer. So please let me know in the comments below if you have a question or if this was helpful for you, or maybe you can give some more advice to Jose as well. And if you would, please give me a thumbs up. Glad you're here. Have a great one.